Everyone's obsessing over Elon's Twitter takeover and what Zuckerberg's doing with AI. But while the tech world wasn't paying attention, Bluesky just quietly made a leadership move that could reshape how social media actually works. Bluesky appointed Toni Schneider as its official CEO. If you've never heard of him, he comes from tech operations and scaling startups. For Bluesky, this is huge. The platform hit over 13 million users and was operating without an official CEO for months. That's unusual for a company competing with Twitter and Meta. Here's why it matters. Bluesky isn't just another social media app. It's built on the protocol, an open standard letting you own your data and move between platforms without losing your identity. Unlike X or Instagram, where your account is locked in their servers, Bluesky users theoretically control their digital identity. That's the whole point. Toni Schneider stepping in signals the company is serious about becoming a real alternative, not just a refugee camp for people angry at Elon. It means strategy, structure, and committed investors. The timing is interesting too, as creators look for new homes and decentralized social media finally moves from hype to reality. Bluesky's got the momentum, the tech, and now the leader to pull it off. And this is where things get interesting, because Bluesky's leadership move isn't happening in a vacuum. Bluesky's story is wild. It started as a project inside Twitter, Jack Dorsey's mission to build an open, decentralized social media protocol. In 2019, he promised Twitter would fund development of an open standard, letting social networks exist independently without being locked into one corporate silo. That became the protocol. In 2022, Dorsey spun it into a separate company. The app launched in beta in early 2023 and has been growing ever since. But even as the platform expanded rapidly, it didn't have a traditional CEO. The team ran lean, more like a startup incubator than a traditional company. People knew Jack Dorsey, but there wasn't a clear day-to-day leader steering the ship. That worked fine when Bluesky was small and the team was aligned. But 13 million users is no longer a side project. When you've got that many people on your platform, creators investing their time, and investors betting real money, you need clarity at the top. You need someone whose job is explicitly to chart the course, make the tough calls, and be accountable to the ecosystem. That's the gap Toni Schneider fills. It's not that Bluesky suddenly needed a CEO because the platform was broken. It's that Bluesky succeeded enough to finally need the operational structure that comes with real leadership. Growing fast without structure keeps startups chaotic. Adding a CEO is how they become companies. And that change matters right now because the social media landscape is suddenly wide open. The protocol is what makes Bluesky different from everything else. Here's the simplest way to think about it. When you sign up for Twitter or Instagram, your account and everything you post lives on their servers. You're renting access. If they shut down or ban you, you've got nothing. Your entire digital identity is trapped inside their database. The protocol flips this. Instead of your data living on Bluesky's servers, it lives on your own personal data store, hosted anywhere. Bluesky's app is just the client you use to see the network. Think of it like email. You don't own Gmail's servers, but emails are stored in a way Gmail can't hold hostage. You could switch providers and take your messages with you. In practice, Bluesky hosts your data store for free if you use their default service. But the option exists. You could host your own if you wanted. That's the radical difference. Your account becomes genuinely yours. Now, why does this matter for Toni Schneider's appointment? Because the protocol is only valuable if adopted widely. It needs other apps to build on it. It needs creators to trust it. It needs a CEO who can sell that vision to partners, investors, and users. That's a leadership job requiring both technical credibility and business savvy. Schneider has both. But whether Bluesky can actually execute on this decentralized dream, that's the question nobody's answering yet. Toni Schneider comes from a fascinating background. Before Bluesky, he spent years building products at major tech companies and working in operations. He's not a researcher, he's an operator. He knows how to take ideas and turn them into platforms people actually use. He's built products that served hundreds of millions. That's not a small thing. When you're trying to scale a decentralized protocol, you don't need another idealist. You need someone who understands operations at massive scale. Bluesky's been growing, but it's still tiny compared to X or Instagram, 13 million users is a rounding error next to Instagram's 2 billion users. The challenge ahead isn't proving the technology works. The protocol already works. The challenge is getting people to actually adopt it, getting creators to broadcast on it, getting developers to build tools around it. Schneider's job is to make those connections happen. He's got credibility in Silicon Valley from his years in the tech industry. He's got the startup DNA to move fast, and he's got the operational knowledge to scale without letting the platform fall apart. But here's the thing most people miss. Hiring a CEO is also a signal to investors. It means Bluesky is ready to raise money and build. Every major platform has gone through this phase. Facebook needed serious operators to scale. YouTube needed experienced leaders to manage growth. Bluesky appointing Schneider sends a clear message. We are not messing around anymore. How does Bluesky actually stack up against Twitter, Meta's Threads, and the rest? Let's be direct. Bluesky isn't winning the race yet. X still dominates. Threads has Meta's massive user base behind it. But here's what's interesting. For the first time, Bluesky isn't just waiting for ex-Twitter refugees to show up out of anger. It's building intentionally. Schneider's job is to keep that momentum going. On paper, the comparison looks like this. X gives you algorithmic control and community notes verification, but you own nothing. Threads has Instagram's network and algorithmic power, but Meta controls everything. Bluesky gives you the same quality features, but with actual data ownership. You can leave anytime without losing your account or followers. That sounds theoretical until you've actually been banned by a platform. Then it sounds revolutionary. For creators, the choice comes down to audience size versus autonomy. Right now, if you're a creator trying to build a living, you can't ignore X. Meta's still got Instagram's reach, but Bluesky's becoming the platform where you can experiment without worrying about algorithm punishment. It's where technologists go to think. What Schneider now needs to do is expand beyond that tech insider audience. He needs to convince creators that Bluesky's open architecture isn't just philosophically better, it's actually better for them. He needs partnerships with other apps. He needs to make the network effects work. That's the CEO work nobody sees, but everyone depends on. Toni Schneider's appointment signals something much bigger than Bluesky. It signals that decentralized social media is moving from theoretical hype into an actual business. For years, everyone talked about decentralized social networks like they were inevitable. Technologists said it. Blockchain enthusiasts said it. But actually building it, actually getting billions of people to adopt it, is a completely different problem. It requires capital, partnerships, and a leader who can navigate Silicon Valley without selling out the core vision. Bluesky's got a chance that most decentralized networks never got: venture funding, technical credibility, and timing. Right now, creators are genuinely looking for alternatives to X. Threads disappointed them because it's just Instagram 2.0. Bluesky is the only platform offering something genuinely different, but here's where it gets complicated. The more successful Bluesky becomes, the more it has to prove that decentralization wasn't just a nice philosophy, it's actually better in practice. It needs to keep its promises about not locking users in. It needs to stay true to the protocol's vision, even when it's inconvenient. That's where a CEO like Schneider matters. He's got the credibility to say no to investors who want to extract value the traditional way. He can navigate growth without destroying what makes Bluesky different. If Bluesky pulls this off, it won't just be another social network. It'll prove that there's a market for digital autonomy. It'll show that people will actually choose ownership over convenience when given a real alternative. And that changes everything about how we think about social media's future. So what should you actually take away from Toni Schneider becoming Bluesky's CEO? First, understand what this appointment signals. Bluesky is real. It's not a side project anymore. It's a company with serious funding, serious leadership, and serious ambitions. When a platform appoints a CEO with industry credentials, it's saying we are going after real market share. Second, recognize that this is a bet on execution. The protocol is interesting technically. Decentralized social media is philosophically compelling, but none of that matters if Bluesky can't actually grow and keep people engaged. Schneider's job is to prove that you can build something genuinely open and genuinely popular. That's never been done before at this scale. Third, pay attention to what Bluesky does next. Does Schneider go after enterprise partnerships? Does he recruit creators explicitly? Does he make it easier for developers to build on the protocol? His first 100 days matter. They'll show whether Bluesky's serious about becoming the alternative to X, or whether it's settling into a niche for tech insiders. For creators, this means Bluesky just became a more stable bet. For investors, it means real capital is flowing into decentralized social media. For everyday users, it means you should actually try it if you've been curious. Bluesky's got the team, the tech, and the resources to be a real competitor now. This appointment is the moment Bluesky stops being an experiment and becomes a platform. Here's what happened. Bluesky, the decentralized social network that started as Jack Dorsey's dream, just appointed Toni Schneider as its official CEO. On the surface, it sounds like boring business news. In reality, it's the moment when decentralized social media stops being theoretical and becomes a real competitor to X and Meta. Bluesky's been growing steadily, 13 million users, growing creator interest, genuine engagement. But you can only run so far without the operational structure that comes with real leadership. Schneider brings that structure. He brings industry credibility. He brings the ability to navigate growth without losing the platform's soul. The protocol, the technology that lets you actually own your data, is only valuable if it's adopted widely. Bluesky's appointed a CEO who can make that happen, someone who understands both the technology and the business, someone who can convince creators that openness isn't just more ethical, it's actually better for them. This is a pivotal moment, not because Schneider's necessarily a legendary CEO, but because his appointment signals that the dream of user-controlled social media isn't dying in some venture capital graveyard. It's moving forward. The platform wars just got more interesting. Follow for daily AI news to see which platform actually wins the next era of social media.